From Washington, this is VOA News. UN officials claim a deterioration of human rights in eastern Ukraine. The U.S. responds to potential threats in North Africa. I'm Vincent Bruce, reporting from Washington. United Nations monitors say violence of anti-government groups in eastern Ukraine is causing an alarming deterioration of human rights amid a political crisis between Kyiv and pro-Russian separatists. In a statement Friday, Russia's foreign ministry accused the UN of a complete lack of objectivity, saying that report had glaring inconsistencies and double standards. Meanwhile, separatists in the eastern Ukrainian provinces of Donetsk and Luhansk held referendums on self-rule Sunday, after which they declared independent people's republics in the two regions. Separatist leaders there have said they will not hold Ukraine's May 25th presidential elections in their respective regions. Twin bombings have rocked a busy market area of Nairobi, leaving at least 10 people dead and 70 wounded. Police say 2 improvised explosive devices were detonated Friday in the market near downtown. They say one of the bombs hit a public minibus. The United States has strengthened its forces in Sicily following possible terrorist threats against U.S. targets in North Africa. Speaking Friday in Washington, a State Department spokesman said a State Department spokesperson would not specify the nature of the threats, but said the forces were moved to support the security of diplomatic personnel. More details on these stories at voanews.com. In northern Nigeria, some religious leaders are calling on the government to negotiate with Boko Haram militants for the release of the girls kidnapped there last month. Heather Murdoch has more for VOA from Abuja.
This week, Boko Haram said it would release some of the nearly 300 schoolgirls they kidnapped in exchange for imprisoned members. Officials originally said they would consider all options. But on Wednesday, Britain's Minister for Africa, Mark Simmons, said Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan made it very clear there will be no negotiation with Boko Haram. This week, several countries and the United Nations pledged to help Nigeria rescue the girls and fight Boko Haram. On Tuesday, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Aminu Wali, warned that amid high hopes for the girls' safe return, Nigerians need to manage our expectations. Heather Murdoch for VOA News, Abuja.
Pakistan is welcoming the sweeping election victory in India by Narendra Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party. Political leaders and analysts now hope that the new BJP government will respond positively to Islamabad's peace overtures. VOA's Aya School reports from Islamabad.
Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's office said Friday that he telephoned Narendra Modi to congratulate him on his Bharatiya Janata Party's impressive victory in the election and offer good wishes.
Pakistan believes in peaceful relationship with its neighbors.
Pakistani Federal Minister Abdul Qadir Baloch says his country will wait for Mr. Modi to take office before it can offer any analysis of the Indian Prime Minister's policy toward Islamabad.
We want to settle every dispute with India through peaceful means.
A wide-ranging bilateral dialogue between India and Pakistan to improve ties and seek solutions to outstanding territorial disputes, including Kashmir, remains suspended. Ayaz Gul for VOA News, Islamabad.
A fourth round of nuclear talks between Iran and 6 world powers ended Friday, with officials saying no tangible progress was made in the negotiations. At the talks in Vienna, Iranian officials and negotiators from the U.S., France, Germany, Britain, China, and Russia were supposed to draft a plan aimed at scaling back Iran's nuclear program in exchange for easing sanctions on Tehran. The White House has described as a provocative act China's decision to put an oil rig in waters claimed by Vietnam. VOA White House correspondent Luis Ramirez has a report.
China's decision to place an oil rig in a disputed area of the South China Sea has triggered protests in Vietnam. On Friday, White House spokesman Jay Carney had a message for Beijing.
We consider that act provocative.
The latest incident is fueling Washington's concerns about China's increasingly assertive claims in the region. China and Vietnam have a long-standing dispute over control of parts of the South China Sea. Last month, President Barack Obama traveled to Asia to reassure U.S. allies in the region that Washington stands by its commitments to help defend them. Luis Ramirez, VOA News at the White House.
In the U.S., stocks were up across the board on Friday. Visit us at voanews.com 24 hours a day for all the latest. I'm Vincent Bruce, VOA News, reporting from Washington.